Morning, everyone. All right, we're about to start our monthly webinar series. So give us a minute or so we can wait for others to join us as well. Again, this is part of AskEmConnect's monthly webinar series. And today's topic is mobile marketing strategies. Again, emphasis is on small businesses. We will be talking a lot about some experiences that we have had with our clients. Again, emphasis would be on small businesses, specifically restaurant examples and those kind of things. But so we'll be starting the webinar in a minute or so. All right, a little bit about ours. AskEmConnect has started in 2015 with a focus on restaurant marketing, and we pride ourselves to be an accountable accountable customer engagement model, in the sense that whatever we do in terms of the strategies, in terms of the implementation plans that we do, we showcase the results. And this is based on the customer data that we collect and showcase how customers are moving across the life cycle, which is our A to A model, which we're going to talk in a little while. For today's call, we're going to actually talk about what is actually mobile marketing, why is it important, and how you as a small business can actually implement different strategies with regards to mobile marketing. Obviously, everything today in today's world is all about mobile, and since iPhone was launched by Apple, the smartphone concept or the user interface, the ability to view things and all these things, it has revolutionized the industry. And this in turn led to a lot of other facets of the overall different industries have been spawned because of the mobile technologies or mobile revolution, in terms of social media getting more acceptance, in terms of the geofencing, in terms of the AR and whatnot. So for us here at AskEmConnect, everything is, the bottom line is that, like, because of the trends in terms of the mobile technologies and in terms of the features, the additional features that we are seeing right now, if you look at the ability to take much better pictures using your iPhone X11 Pro series and all those kind of things, it actually has changed quite a bit. Ability to actually take videos and ability to upload them, which in turn is impacted by 5G revolutions and those kind of things. So the bottom line is that in today's world, it has become imperative that it is mobile first, right? So the concept of mobile marketing is nothing but using the technologies in terms of the smartphones, in terms of ability to find the location of a customer's ability to basically pinpoint customers and ability to make them act on some things in terms of marketing messages or in terms of ability to navigate the customers to come to your stores is in a little nutshell what is all mobile marketing is all about in terms of the apps, in terms of your smart browsers and whatnot. So that is what is mobile marketing, and again, we are basically reiterating the point over and over again as to why one actually has to have a mobile marketing. It is maybe a moot point at this point. When in 1995-96, when we actually have the HTML, the word www concept was introduced, kind of a thing, where we actually having a website was important for people in the internet age. Now it is all about mobile. Having a mobile first strategy is very much key in terms of making sure that you as a business can survive and succeed. So it's not just your ability to succeed, but you as a business ability to survive itself is dependent on having a robust marketing, as in like mobile marketing strategy. We talked about what mobile marketing strategy is all about. Again, just at a very high level, just think of this as ability to use the phone which is in your customer's hand to your advantage. When we say to your advantage, ability to communicate your message, ability to make your customers act on it, ability to make your customers loyal to you, and ability to make your customers refer their friends and family using the smartphone in their hands. And these are some of the statistics as to like why it is imperative for you as a small business to have mobile marketing or like mobile first strategy, in the sense that you have the smartphones and people basically taking a look at the opening their smartphones, and the number of actually right now you can actually say around 60 to 70% of the traffic is actually coming through smartphones itself. For example, when I was actually watching football the other day for Super Bowl, I was just looking at the halftime show, and I wanted to find out what is the net worth of Shakira and Jennifer Lopez. As in just so for me to, rather than go to a desktop or laptop, I just opened my smartphone, just did this Google search or something like that. And just imagine that, like if you are selling music or something for Jennifer Lopez or Shakira, and then if I've actually searched for this net worth of these two singers, and all of a sudden I see an ad which will actually say, hey, get 50% off right now for this particular song. And then obviously, because I am interested in knowing about these two singers, I actually researched them on my smartphone, and I see an ad which basically says that there's a 50% discount on a latest CD or something like that. In all probability, I might be interested in that, and I would click on that ad. So it's just as a use case in terms of me as a person who was actually watching this show over this weekend, how it can translate for you as a small business selling a CD or a music or something like that, to be able to push that ad or something right in front of my eyes, because as a user, I'm interested in that particular product or something like that, right? Again, since 2018, Google has actually changed their strategy in terms of indexing wise. Previously, they used to index the first desktop version and then go to the mobile version. Now, 2018, they've actually changed to indexing first. They will crawl the mobile first, because they have seen, again, the traffic right now, 60 to 70% is coming from mobile. So they want to make sure that they also have started penalizing if you do not actually have a mobile-friendly website, in terms of there are a lot of factors which we'll talk in a little while about the mobile website. But again, from a Google perspective, which generates maybe around 60, 70, or 80% of the search results right now. So they also have changed their strategy in terms of indexing wise the websites and all those kind of things. That's another important reason for you as a small business to think of mobile first as well, right? So having laid down the fundamentals in terms of like what is mobile marketing and why mobile marketing is required, or why mobile first, rather than saying why mobile marketing, we actually will say mobile first, right? A little bit in terms of our customer engagement model. We call this as an A2A customer engagement model. Every customer from our point of view, from AskEmConnect's point of view, they go through these 5 stages. Like we call them as A to A stages: awareness, engagement, acquisition, loyalty, and advocacy. We put this as a linear equation, as a linear progression, but the path could be any in terms of like, if you look at it, it's first of all, a customer has to be aware of a product or a brand or a message or something like that, then they'll start engaging with you. The engagement happens multiple times, 6 times, 7 times, and the engagement can happen over multiple channels. And then they become a customer. And then if the experience is good, they will come back to you, and so on and so forth, wherein they will become a loyal customer to you as a brand or as a business. And then they will start referring, which is the advocacy stage. So our goal at AskEmConnect is always try to increase the funnel size of this in terms of the awareness, in terms of making sure that as many people as possible hear about you as a business, the message you want to convey, and at the same time want to push in terms of the lateral conversion, in terms of people becoming more engaged with you, getting more customers to buy from you, getting more loyal customers, and advocating more in terms of your customers. So our strategies are always geared towards lateral as well as horizontal as well as vertical shift, in the sense that vertical shift increasing the funnel size, and horizontal in terms of pushing many people from the stage to all the way to advocacy. Because if you have brand advocates, that by far is the most important or most effective communication tool that you as a brand can actually possess. So all throughout these presentations or whatever strategies we come up with, we always gauge as to what impact are we doing with this particular marketing strategy. Whenever we come up with this, we always ask this question. So if I'm actually doing implementing any strategy or coming up with any strategy, what stage of customer engagement model or customer's life cycle are we impacting, and how are we actually are we impacting the acquisition phase, loyalty phase, and what are the results gained by that one? So in the sense that, like, if you are trying to run any Facebook ad campaigns, obviously it's going to increase the awareness, but we also want to find out if it is generating any engagement, and if you're actually getting any customers because of that particular campaign. So for example, we are running right now for a particular restaurant $5 off of $25 campaign. So the intent is for us to get as many customers to purchase from us online, but at the same time we are running some campaigns on Facebook as well as some search ads, wherein, and also sharing the same thing on different groups. So that means when anyone is actually looking at it, the message that we are trying to convey is, hey, this particular restaurant has this coupon, which is 5 off of 25. So the message is, the awareness is, we are trying to increase the reach through multiple strategies like groups, email campaigns, and Facebook posts and other things, and also website updates and those kind of things, Google posts. And we are trying to gauge as to how many people are actually clicking on that, how many people are actually visiting our landing page using UTM links and all those things. And then obviously the bottom line is how many people are actually making the purchase. So any strategy that we do has an impact across multiple stages of the customer engagement model. And in the future slides also, we're going to actually tell more in terms of any particular strategy, if you're doing it, how does it impact a particular customer stage or a stage, so that you can kind of correlate in terms of saying that any strategy we come up with, it's not in vacuum. it is always is related to this particular model that we have actually come up with. Again, these are some of the benefits in terms of how it will actually impact how mobile marketing will impact your business in terms of the reach. Again, given the fact that more and more people are actually reaching out to their smartphones to do basic things, right from search to buying things to everything else. So having a solid or a mobile first strategy will actually help you improve the reach. Again, the reach is, we calculate as to how many people who are interested in the product are getting exposed to your brand or to your message or to your business, right? That's number one. And in terms of ability to push these messages to the right person at the right time, so that converting them into your customers, there's a higher probability of that. Again, I've given the example of me searching for J-Lo's music or net worth. And if I had, again, obviously, I was just looking more from a business standpoint of view. But if someone is searching for the same thing, and if there is an ad which would actually say that enter into this raffle to basically get a chance to win. Let's assume I'm talking about Pepsi because they are halftime sponsors. What if they actually have run an ad which will say that enter into this Pepsi contest to win a chance to meet J-Lo? And given the fact that I'm searching for J-Lo and I might be able to get a chance to meet J-Lo on that one, I might actually enter the contest that is organized by Pepsi. Obviously, I'm kind of giving a big example here because you as a small business might not be able to get the chance to win J-Lo. You might or might not, but that's why I've taken the example of Pepsi here, right? Again, we talked about the purchase, right? In the sense, you're not just reaching out to the right persons in terms of the marketing strategy that you actually have, but also given the fact that people who are searching on mobile phones are more likely to act on that, in the sense they have a high purchase intent. So that means there's a higher probability of, if you show them an ad or something interesting wherein a snippet of information, they're more likely to click on that ad or particular campaign or whatever be the case. So that way they can become a customer of yours, right? So that is the mobile intent, in the sense that people searching for near me, like for example, when it comes to restaurants, most of the times what we have seen is cuisines around me, like Italian cuisines around me, or pizza coupons or deals around me, or delivery places around me. These are the kind of keywords people are looking for. That means if someone is looking for delivery around me and you have an ad which would actually say free delivery today for purchase of $30 or more, people are more likely to click on that. And just imagine this, the fact that you're having a $30 limit, whereas your average order is 25. Even though you're giving them free delivery, the $5 difference there, where people are buying more. And it has been the case that people buy more online than they've actually purchased at store. So that way you actually have a higher probability of making more money, and obviously the purchase intent and all those kind of things, right? Bear in mind the customer experience is very, very important when it comes to the mobile. Again, and the flip side of things is that because of the advent of mobile technologies and all those kind of things, the average attention span of a customer has decreased drastically. I think it hovers around 7 to 8 seconds. So that means you better catch that particular person within that 7 to 8 seconds, and you need to have a better experience. You need to provide that better experience in terms of like relevant content, relevant ads, and all those kind of things. So if I'm actually searching for, again, going back to this delivery around me, and you come up and show that pickup orders free for $30 or more, if that ad comes, I'm gonna basically be very much pissed off, because I'm searching for delivery and you're showing me an ad for pickup. So why would you do that? That's the bottom line, right? So we need to make sure that like having a better experience right from the initial contact all the way, in terms of making sure that every touch point the customer actually has with you is thought through, making sure that at each touch point the customer is actually given a choice of providing more information, wherein we have seen that most of the times when you're asking for information with tangible benefits for the customer, they are more likely to give information if the experience is good. Right? That boils down to the fact that if you're asking for the data, then you can actually deliver more personalized marketing messages and all those kind of things. So again, if you have a mobile first strategy, you will be able to do or deliver these benefits to the customer, and making sure that when you're actually taking the data from them, you can actually give them the personalized message. Again, and talking about a restaurant, we actually look at the purchase history of the customer, and we also kind of look at whether this particular customer is interacting with us on social media, whether this customer actually has given us a 5-star review, and all those kind of things. So at AskEmConnect, we make sure that we are collecting customer data from different sources. And obviously here it is possible for us, based on our ability to plug into different sources, at the same time using mobile marketing strategies, in the sense that ability to send out SMS messages and all those kind of things. We are able to find what a customer likes and when he likes, and then ability to use this data to send a message saying that buy this, get this free, or something like that, so that there's a higher probability of us making sure that particular coupon is being used, or that particular message is being read, or whatever we are asking for the customer to do, they are actually doing it. Like if it is refer your friend, we know that on a Friday evening or something, or that more people are thinking about spending their time with their friends. And if we send a coupon which will say that send this coupon to your friend and you will basically get something else, then they're more likely to send that message to their friends as well. This boils down to this targeted messages, which is highly personalized messages that can be done if you have a mobile first. Again, bear in mind, when we say mobile first, that means you need to focus on the customer data. That is only possible through the interactions that happen over these smartphones, right? Again, the ads can be targeted with a higher response rate. The classic example being that delivery ads, or if you're running any specials for pizza coupons or anything like that, if people are searching for that, you can either show a search ad, or if they're browsing some websites or something like that, you can also show this. And given the fact that Facebook, Google, and all these people actually enable you to target customers just on mobile phones, as well as remarketing and all these kind of technologies enable you as a business person to kind of target your ads to a very specific niche population that you are looking for. Now, we've actually talked about what is mobile marketing, why is it needed, what are the benefits, and all those kind of things. Now we talk about the crux in terms of what is a mobile marketing strategy. In this one, we talk about 6 different strategies in terms of what are the different things that you as a business actually have to do. I think there are 6 or 7 strategies that you need to follow. And most of them might seem very straightforward, but making sure that you are actually implementing it in a way that it is you can actually gauge the results, right? And understanding what you're looking for. Obviously, first of all, you need to understand what you're looking for, and then measuring the results in a way that is in line with what your expectations are. So again, in the next few slides, we're going to actually specifically talk about how you as a small business, you do not need to have a big budget. Again, that's the beauty of this one, right? You can actually spend as less as like maybe $100 a month to implement all the strategies that we are talking here and get tangible results in terms of increased exposure, getting more customer engagement, having more people buy your product or service, and then getting more loyal customers, and also referring your refer your business to their friends and family as well. So that's the A to A model, again, as we said, right? every particular strategy that we come up at mConnect, we measure that against this A2A model and try to figure out where exactly this particular strategy is impacting on this customer lifecycle. It can be on one stage, it can be across all stages. Typically, it will be more than one stage. That's what we have actually seen, right? So again, as we said, right, like, so you need to identify who your customer is in terms of whether these people are, what their demographics are, what are their transactional history is or behavioral history is. How can you find out these, and then creating a persona around that one, right? So we, again, will try to figure out, like, if they are, like, for example, for restaurants, depending upon the kind of cuisine, if it's a sit-in restaurant with a high-end menu and all those kind of things. So your clientele for that particular, or your target segment, would be someone who has high disposable income, who do not mind spending time and money on the experience part of it, right? Whereas if you actually have a fast casual, wherein people are crunched for time, but they want to have a better this one. So they would like to, then your target segment is completely different from that. And if you have actually a quick serve or a fast food restaurant, then the target segment is completely different, wherein they're not just looking for value, but also they're looking for quick service and all those kind of things. And in this case, then your targeting would be mostly, or your promotion, you would depend mostly on promotional strategies in terms of coming up with offers and all those kind of things, and in those channels that your customers actually frequent, right? So, and then once you identify who your customer is, then you need to identify what is that you want to do with your mobile marketing, in the sense that, hey, I want to get more customers known about, I want to expose my brand to many people living in my neighborhood. Again, when you as a small business, your target segment, they are within 3 to 5 mile radius of your business. When they say they are, that means they either work, they live, or they go to school within that particular zone. And you want to target those again, the defined customers that we have done in the previous slide. You need to identify what kind of channels are there. Like, if your target segment is mostly students, that means going on Facebook and trying to promote on Facebook might not be a good option. Like, let's assume if you are a used bookstore, right, targeting students, then your target segment, the channel they're actually coming to, could be Instagram, it could be TikTok, it could be Snapchat, and so on and so forth. But if you are actually if you are actually a gym or something like that, then your target segment would mostly be women, and men too, definitely. But your target segment could be found on Facebook and other channels, and other things that you want to target. So, identifying your customer segment, and then what your goals are for your mobile first marketing strategy, that would actually help you to baseline what you need to do and baseline your expectations as well. And then you need to see what is that you are doing right now, what is it working and what is not working, in the sense that, again, giving an example of, like, if you're a bookstore and if you're trying to promote it on Facebook, where the average age of a person visiting Facebook is on the higher side, then that might not be the right channel for you. Or if you're like, the messaging that you're actually sending on Instagram is about the ambience and all those kind of things, and your target segment is students, they might not be interested in ambience and all those things. They might be interested in more in terms of, is it a ambience? Definitely. Is it a cool place to hang out, or is it just like a value half price books or something like that, where people can come get books at a discounted rate and all those kind of things? Or do you actually have a cafe or something where kids can hang out and have fun and all those kind of things? Right. So you need to understand what your strategy is, what is working, what is not working, and what is that you need to improve on so to make it work, right? And then you need to, obviously, people keep on talking about the KPIs and all those things, right? So here we are talking about understanding what is that you want from your mobile first strategy, and coming up with some very measurable results. Again, if you look at all the customer life cycle, the A to A model, in the awareness phase, are you trying to increase the number of people in terms of impressions, in terms of reach wise? That would be your and these can be easily measurable on social media, online, and all those kind of things. Or if you're trying to engage your customers in terms of trying to some coming up with coupons or something, or trying to run a birthday club campaign where you want your customers to sign up and all those kind of things, then you can figure out as to how many people are actually joining the club and all those kind of things. That customer engagement, those metrics also can be done. If your strategy is around acquisition phase, you can run a 5 or 25 campaign, spend some X dollars on different media, and try to figure out how many people have actually come through that particular offer, right, through this particular campaign. Again, that is your goal. Or you want your customers to become a loyal customers by signing up for your loyalty program, or you want them to visit. For example, for some of the restaurants, we are actually having, for pizza restaurants, we've actually have run a campaign where we said that, like, buy 3 times in a month and get a free pizza. So we have seen quite a bit of results in terms of when we have targeted the existing customers, we have seen the increase in the frequency of the orders. Not everyone actually reached the 3 goal, but we have seen people who used to order once, they've at least gone to the level of 2, and people who actually order 2, they've actually gone to the level of 3 orders per month. And again, just bear in mind, like, the repeat customers by far for you as a business have the best ROI than trying to figure out a new customer and trying to get them into the door and making them try your product and all those kind of things. Right. And then obviously we are talking about the KPIs here, in the sense, like, what are the metrics that you are looking for that would actually are measurable, that would actually have an impact on you as a business. Once you set up this, then you need to start looking at the different strategies. Again, the strategies we're going to actually talk about in these slides are very specific, in the sense that, like, these are very easily implementable. It would not take a whole lot of effort on your part, and also these are directly related to the the KPIs that we just talked about, right? So in this one, the very first, you might be surprised why we actually put the optimization, the mobile optimization first. We have seen n number of times, again, in small businesses, we do not actually have the numbers, but having a website, most people do not have that. But at the same time, even if they have that, they have it as an old website that has been done maybe long back and with no optimization done. Again, we talked early on saying that around 60 to 70% of the traffic is coming on mobile, and Google has actually changed their strategy, indexing mobile first only. Having to do with a mobile optimized site, or mobile first, is not an option. Is not an option. Not having is not an option, right? Again, we have shown this. The other factor is also that the attention span has decreased because of the ability of people to multitask and all those kind of things, or they feel that they're multitasking. But with so many screens around your TV, your tablet, your desktop, your laptop, and all these kind of things, right? So the engagement is very, very low. So you need to make sure that you actually have the mobile optimized site. It's not just having the site, but also from an experience point of view. It is very, very important that whatever we are talking about, the user experience has to be good. Again, Apple actually has messed up things in terms of the user experience wise. The level of experience, or in terms of what in the previous days were like no longer valid. It has to work. It has to work fine. It has to work best all the time, and the experience has to be good. When we talk about experience, it comes from right from the loading speed, ability to view pictures, ability to make a call, ability to find directions, ability to do multiple things, place an order. Like right now, if you look at it, it used to be right now everything is on mobile phones and all those things. Now everything has shifted to the voice recognition as well. Again, it's not just having, if you're having a mobile website, that's not by itself is enough. You need to constantly improve or innovate in terms of ability to, in future, everything has to go through voice enabled. Not in future, actually, maybe in the next couple of years, one should be able to place an order, not interacting with the customer, but over the phones, and the ability to place an order over the phones and all those kind of things. And that's a trend which we are actually looking at, right? Making sure that, like, you're, again, that's what we are saying, right? Having this website, it has to be very easy to navigate. Again, just bear in mind, this is what we keep on telling our customers, that the right hand thumb is by far the most important organ right now in today's world, because everything people are like browsing through, clicking on that, and just using one hand and trying to find directions, place an order, and all those things. It has become that, like, so that means you need to make sure that everything in terms of when the website loads, you need to have call us, find us buttons, order us buttons, right? Menu, or if you have any coupons or anything like that, you need to make sure that those are very much visible. And when they click on that, they should work, and they should be able to go to the forms and all those kind of things, right? There are multiple tools that you can actually check in terms of, you can go to Google and search for how your website actually looks like on different phones and all those things. And also Google actually has the page speed in terms of how fast your website actually loads. How does it compare with the rest of the world, with your competitors and all those kind of things. So it will give you an idea as to how your business is doing when it comes to the mobile friendliness, right? And building the website right now is very, very easy, and it's very, right now you have WordPress and a lot of other tools out there that would actually help you create the website, and it's not a difficult proposition, and it has to be done by yesterday. So if you haven't done the website mobile free or mobile enabled using the latest technologies, you're already late in the game. It should have been done by yesterday, and please make sure that it would not cost a whole lot, maybe a few $100s and those kind of things as well. And again, we said, right, like having to do, when we are trying to give the website, we need to make sure that it is easy for them to, for your customers to find the information they're looking for, which is in small businesses, when it comes to restaurants, they are trying to find what menu options they have, what coupons they have, whether I can call the store, whether I can find directions to the store, or whether I can place an order. By far, these are the most important things that a customer is looking for on a restaurant website. And obviously the pictures of the dishes as to how they look. If you can actually, obviously with the latest technologies, if you can feed your Instagram feed or other social media feed onto this, that would actually give a better ROI, in the sense that this is what the customer is looking for, and followed by what others are saying. Obviously, they can go to Yelp, Google, and other places, but if there is a way in which you can streamline, and again, those technologies are available where what others are, customer reviews can also come onto the website. But there's also the flip side, in the sense that if you do not have good reviews, you don't want them to be published on your site, or even customers might be more interested in going on to Google and finding the reviews, because when they know that you're streamlining the reviews on your link, you might actually filter some of the reviews and only show the good ones and all those kind of things, right? Again, making sure that you actually have a mobile-friendly website. Again, as I said, it does not take a whole lot of time and effort. It's very easy to use with the latest technologies. You have like Wix.com and other platforms that one can actually use to create the mobile website, and making sure that as much as possible you contain the customer in your website only. So basically making sure that if you want a customer to come to your website and place an order, make sure that ability to place the order is done there and then itself. Like we have seen most of the times, some customers actually putting other third-party links, DoorDash or Uber Eats and all those kind of things. Definitely, these are other channels that you as a restaurant owner might want to use. But just bear in mind, I come to the store, I click on DoorDash, and all of a sudden I go to DoorDash. But now you do not have an ability to control my action as a customer, which you referred to DoorDash. DoorDash might actually pop up a message saying that, hey, listen, if you place an order at this particular restaurant, you might be able to get $20 off. And given the fact that more and more of these companies are actually opening centralized kitchens and all those kind of things, it is imperative that you as a restaurant owner are not giving your customer to a third party app or something like that and making them go away from you, right? That's what we keep on telling, that obviously if you cannot deliver you can still have that, but there is a risk of that customer not coming back to you because of the use case scenario we just discussed, right? We talked about in terms of these are some technologies. Again, we talked about where you can go to Google speed tool to check how fast you can load up the site and all those kind of things, which is very important based on how, again, given if it is taking too much of time, you lose that customer. Making sure that the customer is actually checking in your right geographic region is also important. If you're checking for the speed, your customer is in Canada, but you're checking in US, it would not work. And Google have come up with multiple technologies. Like one is the Google AMP, which is accelerated mobile pages, which can actually be able to enable it to faster version, but it does actually have poor user experience as well. We also have the apps, which we're going to actually talk about, but these are like apps, mobile apps kind of a thing, where people can actually download part of your website or part of your this one, which looks like an app. But again, this is it actually has some pros and cons to that one as well, right? So first step is basically making sure that you actually are optimizing your website and making sure that you actually have a mobile first, in the sense that you need to have a mobile website. When I open your website on my smartphone, it has to have a certain feel and look and experience which is completely different from what you actually have on the desktop. On the mobile side, you need to have very specific things. Again, when it comes to restaurant menu, pictures, finding you directions wise, calling you, placing an order, finding pictures, finding coupons, and all those kind of things. The second strategy, which from a mobile first, is the emails. Again, by far, email communication is the most prevalent at this point of time. Billions of emails are being sent. So that means when you're sending a message, again, bear in mind, this message is being opened in a mobile device. That means you need to make sure that few things that comes to mind when it comes to mobile, right? Mobile email marketing. Make sure that the images are optimized. The message can be read without customers having to going through hoops and bounds. Making sure that there is a CTA, a call to action on that one, in the sense you do not want the customers to read information only kind of a thing. They will just be pissed off. And again, bear in mind, the open rate, the click rate, and all those kind of things for an email, typically within the restaurant industry, is around 23% open rates, and click rates are around 2 to 3%. That means if you're sending 100 emails, right, obviously this is the cheapest in terms of the messages that you can actually send. On MailChimp, you can send 12,000 emails free per month, up to 2,000 emails. So that means most of the times as a small business, you would not even go beyond 2,000 emails. So that means you can send messages for free, but again, bear in mind the result or ROI is very low when it comes to this one. So you need to make sure that you are engaging with the customer, your ability to hit the 23% is the average. It doesn't mean that you cannot go beyond that, and the 2 to 3% click rate is also does not mean that you cannot go beyond that. But this is the bottom baseline that you need to target, and you need to make sure that when you're sending an email, there is a CTA and everything, optimizing it for this one, right? And the customers need to know what exactly they're looking at. So just bear in mind, in a small, like, obviously you have the bigger iPhones and Samsung Notes where the screen size is big, but just imagine if a screen size is small, you need to convey the message within those first two lines as to which is your pre-header text, and making sure it is very concise. You do not want a customer to scroll 10 screens on your mobile phone. By max 2 to 3 screens by which they should understand what the email is. They should have an CTA on that. They should be able to click on that and all those kind of things. And it goes without this one, that you need to have a responsive design on that as well. Again, the messages and all these kind of things. All these, again, but before the sending also, you need to make sure if you can actually do A/B testing. Again, MailChimp offers for paid ones ability to do A/B testing and seeing how it actually shows on different devices, which subject line actually has better rate, clicking rate, and all those kind of things. What time you have to send, when do you have to send, on all these kind of tests you can actually do in terms of the emails wise. Again, making sure you have the right mobile, as in like the right site in terms of mobile site or mobile optimized site. Second is making sure that you are sending the emails which is optimized for your smartphones, given the fact that around 60 to 70% again of the emails are also open on smartphones. The third one is SMS messages. Again, in olden days, messages used to be charged. Now you actually have all-inclusive messages, and by far, just imagine this. Whereas emails, you're opening maybe around 20-23%, but on smartphones, maybe around 90 to 90% of the messages are read. So that means when you're sent, and at the same time, it is considered very personal. So that means when you're sending a message, you need to make sure that it is the right message. People are looking at it. People might get annoyed and they might block you. And there are obviously CAN Spam Act and all those kind of things. So especially for the email messages, given the fact that most people are opening the message, they will be pissed off if you send them a message without taking very, very, very clear. Again, we are emphasizing the part of very, very clear, because there were instances where messages were sent with intent of, like, when the customers have signed up, but they were actually sued. I think it was Papa John's, if I remember correctly. Papa John's got sued by customers saying that they are receiving more than required messages, and the intent when they were signed up was like 1 or 2 messages and those kind of things. And all these Papa John customers were actually paid millions of dollars in cents, right? So you as a small business, whenever you're thinking about the text messages, the very first thing that you need to do is you need to be very clear on the legal jargon. You need to actually have a very clear, concise text, which would, as per the CAN Spam Act, that you need to say why you are collecting the messages, what is the intent, and how many messages can the customer expect, and also be very specific, saying that there might be charges on the messages that they are receiving. Again, depending upon the bundled, most of the times people might actually avoid getting messages altogether and all. So they might actually, whenever they get a message, they have to pay for the message. So you don't want the customers to pay for a message which they find it ridiculous, and then they get pissed off, and then they go online and start like complaining about that. So you need to be very clear in terms of the legal requirements wise as to like what messages you're getting, right? Again, you have these messages, You can also send MMS message, videos and all those kind of things. But most likely the best thing to do is using text messages. You need to have links on this one, and the links should have UTMs. Like for example, at AskEmConnect, as part of our loyalty program, which is frequent, we use SMS as the bottom line in terms of sending offers, and each offer actually has a link which has a UTM link as well, or UTM identifier, which will identify how many people are actually clicking on the message, how many people are actually landing on that page, so that we know for a fact that whenever we send a message, are we getting more in terms of orders? And obviously, when we send a message, we want to make sure that it is a meaningful offer. You don't want to send a message saying that get $1 off of $100 purchase. It does not make sense at all, right? If you're basically saying 25% off, and there has to be an urgency to that message as well, saying that I'm sending you this message and you will get 25% off of $50 or whatever be the case if you make a purchase by tomorrow. So there is a good offer that is being sent as part of the text message, and then there is an urgency on part of the customer to redeem that offer, because that offer will not be available day after tomorrow. Again, making sure that you have, given the limitation of the message, you need to make sure that you have the right message being sent at the right time with a very clear call to action, right? You do not want to send a big message which nothing but generic information or something like that, right? There are other messages. Obviously, doctors and other ones might want to use messages to keep inform them about the appointments and those things. But obviously, in that also, you have a very specific thing which will say that you're reminding the patient that there is an appointment for tomorrow, and if they want to cancel it, they have to call within 24 hours or get a $25 a fine and all those kind of things, right? And you can automate the messages, again, based on the giving frequent as an example, our loyalty program. We have the ability to keep track of who has opened the messages and who has not opened the messages, and sending the messages based on that history and all those kind of things. You can obviously bear in mind, you have to send the messages during the morning times, in the sense you don't want to send a 2 a.m. message saying get 25% off. Even if you give 100% off at the 2 a.m. in the night, the customer will be pissed off, obviously, right? So you have to identify when is a good time to send the message and all those kind of things. The fourth important strategy is social media. This goes without saying right now. By far, everyone actually opens their pages on our social media on smartphones, right? Again, these are some of the stats in terms of what you're actually seeing that. So making sure whenever you are producing content, the content is actually in line with the smartphones. It can actually show up on the smartphones. If you are running some ads, you are actually keeping it concise and people can act on it and all those kind of things, right? And having videos and ability to add the location tags, hashtags, and all these kind of things, call to actions, right? Making sure all these things come in one single, like when you're creating, just imagine this, you're creating a post. For example, let's take this 5 out of 25. So our social media post would be get $5 off of $25 purchase. Offer ends on February 10th. So this is the message, and we'll actually have $5 off, or a big one, or a nice juicy burger or something like that as an image. So the image is very attractive to the customers who are scrolling through that on their page feed or something like that, and then they actually see that one. And we can also have a link on that one saying that click here to redeem the offer or something like that. So you have a good concise text message, a good picture, and a call for action within a single window frame of a smartphone of a customer, right? So that boils down to the next aspect of advertising on mobile, right? Again, when we talk about mobile ads, I talked about like if I'm searching for any delivery places around me, or if I'm searching for something else, I have an intent of making a purchase or making an online delivery. So having the right ad at the right time there is a higher probability of the customer actually clicking on that one, so that it would actually make sure that they will click on that, in the sense that you will be seeing more returns on that one, right? Again, having the platforms, Google, Facebook, they offer multiple platforms or multiple avenues for you to create the right segment based on a customer. If they have visited your website, or they actually have Google Analytics and Facebook Pixels that can keep track of the customers and all those kind of things. Ability to keep track of that has become maybe an invasion to privacy and all those kind of things, but at the same time, it also gives you as a business manager to keep track of the customers and target the right customers. You can target customers based on either you want to go on Twitter or Instagram or something like that. And you have multiple options as well on Instagram stories or Instagram TV, and on Facebook, you can actually do it on regular ones or create offers and so on and so forth, right? It's just that you can also just create mobile-only ads, and we have seen at AskEmConnect a lot more returns where we done mobile-only ads and then regular ads, and the returns on investment is much better on that one, right? But with also, given that the smartphones actually have the GPS locator on, you can actually pop up again. Going back to this one, if a customer opens their smartphone or within your geo target, that particular ad is shown up. But if he's driving away from your zone, then that ad is not shown up. Specifically talking about like a restaurant industry, right? So geofencing is very, very important as well, because you're targeting the customer who's within 3 to 5 mile radius of your thing. Another aspect is mobile apps. Right now, most of the times we keep on talking about to app or not to app. Having an app in the old, you have obviously Android and iOS, and making sure that if you want to develop an app, it is time consuming. You need to make sure that, just think of this as a real estate which you are taking up on a smartphone, and that means a customer has to have some reason for you as a business to install the app. And it is not only expensive to develop, but it is also expensive to maintain as well. So you need to have a very clear-cut strategy in terms of why you as a business need to have an app, and how are you using the app to constantly engage the person, right? Just having an online ordering itself on an app, and we have seen n number of times where restaurants actually come up and have an app, and they say that I have an app, and we actually ask the question as to how many installs are there, how many people are actually using the app, what are you doing in order to engage the person who actually has installed the app, how many times are they opening the app, and all those kind of things. So our answer to that one is having a strong or a viable strategy around mobile apps is very, very important. If you have that, the pros of having an app are much better, in the sense you can actually send them notifications. Using geotechnologies, you can actually find out where they are, and you can actually have some kind of gamification where if you play a game, they can win something. You can have the social aspects of things where you form different people who actually have install the app, and so on and so forth. So identifying that when you have an app, by having an app by itself is not a viable strategy. Why having an app is a viable strategy, in the sense that continuously you need to make sure that you are constantly thinking about how can I make the customer open my app today. For example, when I as a person, when I open my smartphone, the first thing I go to CNN.com to check for the latest updates, or FoxNews.com or CNBC.com to check for the latest these ones. So the question is, like, for you as a business owner, whenever, if you're a restaurant owner, is the person opening the app for me at least once a week or twice a week to kind of think about me to place an order or something like that, right? So it is very, very important that you need to make sure that you're optimizing that, and you're promoting it on a constant basis, saying that download the app, get something. And also you have to make sure that it is, again, the user experience has to be really good in terms of making sure that it is like the feel and look and everything like that, right? And now you can also send notifications and all those kind of things, and you can also make sure that the customer is happy when they're actually using this. So in obviously we do not have a lot of time here. You can also run analytics and all those kind of things, finding as to how many people open the app, where they have opened the app, what they have clicked, and all those kind of things. So in a nutshell, mobile marketing is nothing but using all these strategies, ability to target your customers using different mobile, isn't the channels, if we call it as a channels, in terms of the website, in terms of the ads, in terms of the social media, in terms of SMS, email marketing, apps, and all those kind of things. You're constantly trying to reach out to your customer with a specific message or the same message constantly, so that the customers will keep on reminded of you as a business. The top of mind recall actually improves, and they can just go ahead on that particular website or app or social media or email or text message and click on that link for you to land on the thing, or for them to do the thing, or for them to do the action which you want them to do. So in a nutshell, that's all about mobile marketing. If you have any questions, feel free to send us an email at marketing@mconnect.com. Obviously, we have crossed our limit of 1 hour. Next month, we will be again coming up with another topic for next month, where we will talk more in terms of other things as well. But if you have, again, any questions, this particular webinar will be on our website. You can go ahead on mconnect.com and download, or not download, but basically listen to this webinar, or you can also register for future webinars. If you have any question about our mConnect platform or A2A model, we are also looking for partners who can actually, resellers who can actually use our platform, resell our services, and those kind of things. Please reach out to us on marketing@mconnect.com. And that actually ends the February webinar. Thank you very much, and we hope to see you again on in the next webinar series in March.